kind of downtown, busy street in San Francisco, and I'm checking out the Riide. This is V1.1. I got to check out almost like pre-version 1. I think I was in Washington, D.C., and they were launching this with crowdfunding. It's awesome to see just how far it's come, but that it still resembles that original, that concept of like simplicity. This is a single speed drivetrain, but you can pedal backwards. It's not like a fixie or anything. Just a beautiful frame that the battery is really concealed and protected well, kind of from water and things like that. When you're riding downtown, you know, you want all your stuff fastened to your bike, but I actually kind of appreciate they've got some quick release stuff going on here because I like to toss my bike in the car. And if I'm really downtown and I don't want, you know, people removing my stuff, I tend to get like sort of the locking screws and kits anyway. So this is cool. One of my favorite things that I noticed right off was just this bottle cage adapter for like a hanging bottle right there. I love that. I've actually never seen that before on an electric bike right there, and it's just nice, really well kind of concealed. The matte black frame, it's aluminum, so this is really stiff. Like, it felt very responsive, and in fact the steering, kind of the head tube angle, I guess, and maybe the rake on the fork, it just felt very responsive, a little bit more like racy than some of the other bikes that I've tested. And you've got a pretty aggressive body position. It's kind of like an 18-inch frame. It comes in one frame size. Of course, the seat post is pretty adjustable. I think they have 300 or 400 millimeter length, 27.2 on the diameter. So if you wanted to, you could replace that with like a seat post suspension and get a little bit of comfort. The tires on this are actually pretty good. So Schwalbe Energizer Plus. I see these on a lot of electric bikes. They're bigger, you know, they're a little bit thicker and squishier, but they've got the green guard, sort of a Kevlar puncture protection, which is always great because you don't want to hit some glass or thorns or something. They've got the reflective sidewalls for safety. So it's 26 by 1.75 again on that. Just a nice size and a good sort of hybrid pattern on the tires. I like that there's also, you know, there's just some options for adding fenders if you wanted to right there. On the back, they've got bosses for adding a rack, so you could turn this into a little bit more of a utility bike if you wanted, but just straight away, you hop on it and go. It could get banged up a little bit. You're not gonna go out of true or anything, and that's where the electric assist really comes in. This is a 350 watt nominal, probably about 500 watt gearless direct drive hub motor by TDCM. So definitely weighs a little bit more, but it's super, super quiet. And I love that it's black now, along with the spokes, just matches the whole thing, kind of a mean look. Really cool that way. It's just silent. So as soon as you twist the throttle, like, you feel it, but you don't hear it. I like that. That's definitely a highlight for me. Got these waterproof connector over here, so if you need to take the wheel off to do maintenance, it's pretty easy to do. The cables are actually routed pretty nicely right here through the frame. You can see there on the left, and they've got some kind of this plate up here. That's where the controller is, and then the battery is actually, it is removable, but it's not the kind of thing that you take off to charge. It's like you leave it in at the racks, and if you need to replace it or something, you can take it off. Here's the charging port, again, just right there, pretty well hidden. I definitely like that. Also like the kind of the bash guard, these nice big oversized fixation pedals. So 350 watt hub motor. Right here we've got a 36 volt, it's 8.7 amp hour lithium ion battery pack. So pretty good. You know, it's a touch below the 3610 that you see on a lot of bikes, but having it integrated like that, keeping the weight lower, is really nice. Overall weight of this bike, just weighed, it was about, 43 pounds. So pretty light, and again, pretty well balanced. I think the fork is actually chromoly steel, so that helps to, some vibration dampening. But I would just say it is a stiff bike. Like you feel a little bit more if you're going fast over bumpier stuff, but you also get that responsiveness and that handling that's just like high precision. I really like that. The bike retails, if you just straight out buy it, for like $19.99, so a couple $1,000, not too bad. And since I looked at it last, it's a very similar looking colorful saddle, but this time it's branded Riide. Same thing with the locking grips. They're just a little bit nicer, flat rubber. Cockpit is really clean. There's no displays or anything, so that could be a pro and a con. You can't see, how fast am I going, how far have I gone, is there a timer, none of that. But it's also not going to get scratched at the rack, it's not going to get stolen. People, you kind of don't even notice that it's electric. And the motor, it's just like no one's going to tamper with that. And it's bulletproof. There's no gears or anything inside. It's just magnets and electromagnet stators repelling. So it's really burly that way. And then of course the twist throttle, you just twist it and go. One of the surprise moments or delighters for me was these Tektro electric bike specific brakes. They actually have a motor inhibitor built right in, and I thought like that's really only required for like pedal assist bikes, because you're pedaling along and maybe you keep pedaling but you're braking or something like that, so you want to be able to kill it. I think initially it was because there's cadence sensors and some of them only have 5 magnets. The motor doesn't quit as quickly. With a twist throttle, you think like, oh, just let it go, right? Like let the twist throttle go and the bike will stop. Sometimes when you're freaking out in traffic or something, you might bear down on the grips and the motor would still be fighting you. So the fact that they've got these motor inhibitors and the brake levers, I think that's going above and beyond. Personally, I think that's kind of a cool little extra. And they are mechanical, so 160 millimeter rotors here, Avid, and we've got this nice little finger adjuster right there so you can tighten them if the pads start to wear down. So very cool. Just a nice quick overview. Again, single size, but a lot of applications for this. And I would just call it tough. Like this bike is tough. I'm actually with the founders of Riide here, and hanging out. You guys have been riding around the city, and you're here in San Francisco, kind of expanding. So like East Coast and now West Coast. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of our customers were here in the Bay Area or on the West Coast, and so we knew eventually we wanted to come, and it was the perfect opportunity to kind of make our way this way.
Yeah, I love it out here. I mean, I don't want to be preferential or whatever. I had a great time in DC and cruising around, but it's just kind of neat, and you're working with like some startup incubation kind of things too. So expanding and refining your company and your products.
Exactly. Yeah, we're really looking to accelerate growth and accelerate our production, and see this to be the perfect place to do that.
Okay. Well, one of the things I've noticed that is maybe accelerating your company is your new business model. I said this is like $19.99 if you just straight up buy it, like most e-bikes, but you've got some other kind of package. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. So it's electric bikes as a service. So for $299 down and then $79 a month, you get your own Riide electric bike, unlimited maintenance, and theft insurance.
Wow.
After 2 years, you own it forever, or you can upgrade to the latest model for free, just like with your cell phone.
Okay. Interesting. And there's some sort of lock? Is this part of the deal?
Yeah, this is an Abus Bordeaux folding lock.
Oh,
and
cool.
This comes with every Riide Pass. It retails for $130. What I really like about this lock is that you can fit it around both the front wheel and the down tube at the same time. So if you're in the city, even though you have the advantage of the quick release in that you can, if there's a flat, which you will rarely get, but if the inevitable flat that happens, you can quickly change it. But you also have the addition of the security of the...
I like that, and thank you for addressing that, because to me, that's what I was saying. It's like a pro and a con. I like quick release. I can toss it in my car, my friend's car, if I need to.
That's why I love quick release as well. Yeah, I mean, the bike is so agile as it is. When you pop off the front wheel, I can fit it in the back of my trunk of a sedan if I need to go somewhere and meet up with my husband after work.
That is awesome. And I also wanted to call out, you guys, you're different heights. What are your heights here?
Yeah, I'm 5'3", I'm pretty short.
5'3".
And I'm 6'1".
Okay, so there's a good range here. And you guys both rode these to meet me today, and I noticed that the standover height was, it's like 28 inches because you've got this sort of angled top tube, and of course with the seat tube angle, it almost looks, I don't know if is it parallel with the head tube? Because it looks like it's angled so that the higher it goes, like the further the reach becomes for like a taller rider.
So exactly. So what we tried to do was design it so that it would fit people with a wide variety of heights. Yeah. So that was very specific and intentional in the geometry.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. And I'm kind of guessing, but I'm just noticing and feeling it out as we go. So
absolutely. And as I mentioned earlier, we get all of our riders' heights, so we know how tall they are. And for taller customers, we can put in a longer seat tube, and that just a seat post, and that just makes it easier for getting more height.
So it's super quiet. I mean, you probably can't even hear the motor over the sound of traffic and trains and all this stuff going on around here. But what I've noticed in talking with them, I think the amps on this is like 10 to 15. So you're not getting like the immediate like boost. It's a little bit more gradual. And I think that helps to conserve some of the battery. As I said, this is slightly below average battery size. It's just a little bit more efficient. It feels very stable, but you only have a single speed drivetrain, like one gear to pedal with. So I find myself like kind of wanting to stand up or help out a little bit more. And again, that helps with the battery conservation, but it's not quite as thrilling as some of the other bikes that I've tried. And I think the gearing on the drivetrain, I think it's 52 teeth on the front ring. It's a little bit higher. So in order to really hit that higher speed pedal cadence that for someone with hurt knees feels a little bit more comfortable, like I'm spinning, in order to get there, the bike kind of has to be going faster. And then once you get up to 20 miles per hour, it feels pretty good. But the motor cuts out at 20 for legal reasons. So it's like you can pedal beyond that. But I don't know, I could see the cadence being dropped a little bit. Maybe the gearing be a little bit lower to feel more comfortable for me. But you know, I have friends that have strong legs and they like that feeling. So it's, you know, it's a single speed bike. I'll have more specs back at the site on that. And as it gets to be dusk around here, I'm reminded, like, you know, put some lights on this thing. It'd be nice if it did have some lights, maybe some really integrated, like in the tube type of lights, but of course that would raise the price significantly. So I'd probably just get some, you know, Saiga lights or just some sort of the rubberized ones that can connect to the seat post, or, you know, if you have that rack, you could put one on the back of the bag. I appreciate you guys like coming out and letting me test ride it and speaking with me. I think that's about it. That's the full review. If you're looking for, you know, a city style electric bike, something that's more urban for San Francisco or wherever, you heard the train probably in the background, people are commuting and stuff, this could be a pretty cool option. So for the full ride up on this and other bikes, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com, and ride safe. I love the helmet. Thanks, Amber.